99% of seniors lose their balance because of these 5 mistakes. Let me ask you something straight up. Have you or someone you love ever had a close call with a fall? Maybe it was just a stumble in the hallway. Maybe you caught yourself on the edge of a countertop. Or maybe it was worse. A hospital visit, a fractured hip, months of rehab, and a blow to your confidence that still hasn't quite healed. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Every single year, millions of seniors, smart, capable, independent people lose their balance, fall, and face consequences that change their lives forever. And here's the brutal truth. Most of those falls could have been prevented, not by some miracle drug, not by a new piece of equipment, but by simply understanding what's really going on in the body and brain as we age. You see, it's not just age, it's not bad luck, and it's not inevitable. The real reason 99% of seniors are losing their balance comes down to a few incredibly common but completely fixable mistakes. I'm talking about simple things that most people don't even realize they're doing wrong. And once you understand them, everything changes. Your confidence, your posture, your strength, your ability to get up and move without fear, and yes, your balance. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 major mistakes that quietly chip away at your stability. These are mistakes I see in nearly every older adult I work with, and honestly a lot of younger people too. We'll also go deeper than the typical just use a walker advice. We're going to uncover the science, the body mechanics, the nervous system rewiring, and most importantly, the mindset behind rock-solid balance. And let's be clear, this is not about turning you into a gymnast or pretending you're 25 again. This is about reclaiming control of your body, your movements, your independence. Because the moment you start saying, "I'm too old for this," is the moment your body starts believing it. But here's the good news. Your body is always listening, and it's always ready to respond. So whether you've already taken a fall or you just want to make sure you never do, this video could be the most important 30 minutes you spend today. Stick with me, because the 5 mistakes we're about to cover might just save you from a fall that could have stolen your freedom. Let's get into it. Mistake 1. Ignoring muscle loss. The silent balance killer. Let's start with the foundation. Your muscles. Now I know what you're thinking. I walk every day. I'm active. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I move, and that's great. But here's the hard truth. Walking isn't enough. Not anymore. There's a condition called sarcopenia. It sounds like a medical term you'd rather ignore, but it's one you can't afford to. It means age-related muscle loss. It starts in your 30s, accelerates after 60, and by the time most people notice it, it's already taken away 30 to 50% of their strength. And that loss doesn't just affect your ability to lift things, it directly attacks your balance. You lose strength in your legs, your glutes, your core. These are the muscles that keep you upright, that catch you when you trip, that stabilize you when you reach for something or pivot. Without them, you're not just slower, you're unstable. But here's the dangerous part. Sarcopenia is silent. You won't feel pain. There's no warning light. Your body just adapts. Slowly, you take shorter steps. You hold on to the wall. You stop turning your head quickly. And eventually you fall. And you don't know why. Let me give you a real example. I worked with a 72-year-old man named Robert. Sharp guy, former engineer, walked every day, stayed mobile. But one day, just walking down his own hallway, he stumbled and couldn't catch himself. Why? His legs weren't strong enough anymore. His reaction muscles, the ones that stop a fall, had faded. We ran some basic strength tests, and he was shocked. Couldn't hold a squat, couldn't stand from a chair without using his arms. That's what I mean by silent. The solution? Intentional strength work. You don't need a gym. You don't need heavy weights. You need to activate the right muscle groups a few minutes a day. Your quads, glutes, calves, and core. We gave Robert a plan. Wall sit step-ups, standing marches, and chair squats. Just 10 minutes a day. Within 8 weeks, not only was he stronger, he stopped feeling afraid of falling. Because when your body knows it can catch you, your brain stops sending fear signals. That's powerful. So if you've been relying on walking alone, I'm going to tell you straight, it's not enough. Not if you want real balance. You need to train your strength intentionally, or muscle loss will quietly take your stability without asking. Mistake 2. Relying on vision alone for balance. Let's talk about your eyes. Most people don't realize this, but balance isn't just about what you see. In fact, vision is only one part of a 3-part balance system. The other 2 are your vestibular system, that's your inner ear, and your proprioception, your body's awareness of itself in space. But here's what happens. As we get older, we start to rely too much on our vision. We stop trusting our body's natural sensors. We become visually dominant, meaning, if we can't see it, we don't trust it. Think about how often you look down at your feet when walking, or hesitate in dim lighting, or feel unsure walking on grass, gravel, or sand. That's your brain saying, I don't have enough visual info, so I don't feel safe. And the moment your eyes are compromised, like walking in the dark, getting up at night, turning too quickly, you're vulnerable. I'll tell you about Maria, 68, active, bright, alert, but terrified of stepping into an unfamiliar room. Her balance test showed something interesting. She was fine with her eyes open, but the moment we had her close her eyes, or dim the lights, she wobbled like crazy. She had trained herself to only balance when she could see. That's dangerous, because life doesn't always give you perfect lighting and flat floors. We started working on rebuilding her multi-sensory balance. Things like standing on one foot with eyes closed, walking heel to toe along a line, while looking straight ahead, not down, gentle balance drills in dimly lit spaces, and slowly her brain started trusting her vestibular system and proprioception again. Her fear decreased, her posture improved, and guess what? She stopped avoiding family gatherings and restaurants because she wasn't afraid to move. The key takeaway: if you rely too much on your eyes, you're at risk. Balance isn't just about seeing, it's about sensing. You need to train your body to react, even when your eyes can't see everything. That's how you build true real-world balance. So let me ask you, when was the last time you trained your balance without using your eyes? Mistake 3. Neglecting foot health and sensory feedback. Let's move down to the base of everything. Your feet. Most people think of their feet as just tools for walking, but they are much more than that. Your feet are packed with thousands of nerve endings, muscles, ligaments, and sensory receptors. They're like antennae, constantly sending feedback to your brain about the ground, your posture, your position, and your movement. But here's the catch. As we age, we often stop paying attention to our feet. And when you neglect them, you're cutting off one of the most vital sources of balance information your brain relies on. Let's break this down. Maybe you've developed numbness in your feet, neuropathy. Maybe your ankles have lost mobility. Maybe your toes are stiff from years of tight shoes. Or maybe you just wear the same soft, comfortable shoes all day without realizing they're doing more harm than good. When your feet lose sensitivity, strength, or flexibility, your balance goes with it. It's like trying to walk on stilts instead of solid ground. I worked with a woman named Darlene, 74. She came in using a cane not because she couldn't walk, but because she didn't trust her footing. She kept saying, "I feel like I can't feel the floor." Classic case. We looked at her footwear, cushioned slip-ons with zero support or grip. Then we checked her feet: stiff ankles, weak toes, poor circulation, and barely any tactile feedback. No wonder she felt like she was walking on marshmallows. Here's the thing. Fixing this isn't complicated, but it does require intentional attention to your feet. We started with toe stretches and ankle rolls every morning, barefoot standing drills on a towel or soft mat to retrain the sensory nerves, light foot massage with a ball to bring circulation and sensation back. Swapped her shoes for something with proper structure, grip, and a wider toe box. Within weeks, Darlene started walking without the cane, not because she was stronger, but because she could finally feel the ground again. Her brain was getting clear signals. Her balance improved almost automatically. So let me be blunt. If you haven't thought about your feet lately, you're making a dangerous mistake. They're not just supports, they're sensors, and ignoring them is like trying to drive with a fogged-up windshield. Start with small steps. Get out of your shoes more. Move your toes. Massage your arches. Use the ground to reconnect your brain with your body. Because once your feet wake up, your whole balance system gets sharper. Mistake 4. Skipping vestibular training. The missing balance system now. Let's talk about a system most people don't even know they have. The vestibular system. It lives inside your inner ear, and it's responsible for detecting motion, head position, and spatial orientation. It's your internal gyroscope, keeping you upright when you turn, bend, twist, or move in unexpected ways. And here's the kicker. The vestibular system needs regular stimulation to stay sharp. But modern life, especially in older adults, doesn't give it that. We stop moving our heads quickly. We avoid looking up, down, or to the sides. We stop spinning, rolling, tilting. So the system goes dormant. What does that lead to? Dizziness, unsteadiness when turning, disorientation in new environments. And you guessed it, falls. One client, Harold, age 70, told me, "I'm fine walking straight, but when I turn to look behind me, I wobble." Classic vestibular underuse. Here's what I asked him. When was the last time you moved your head quickly on purpose? He just laughed. But that's the problem. We baby our balance systems until they stop doing their job. So we started vestibular reactivation drills, head turns while standing, left to right, up and down, eye tracking exercises, follow a moving object without moving your head, marching in place with head turns, spinning slowly in a chair, then standing and balancing. These drills may seem silly, but they wake up the inner ear. They teach your brain to stabilize even when your world moves quickly. Within 3 weeks, Harold's turning hesitation was gone. He stopped grabbing walls when he pivoted. He told me, "It feels like I have my bearings back." Let me be clear. You can train your vestibular system at any age. And if you've been avoiding quick movements out of fear, you've probably already started to lose vestibular response. You don't have to live in fear of sudden movement. You can train your body to trust motion again. But it starts with a few minutes a day of intentional head and eye movement. This isn't just physical, it's neurological, and it works. So if you feel dizzy when turning, unstable when you look around, or weirdly off when you're in a crowded store, your vestibular system is begging for attention. Don't ignore it. Mistake 5. Underestimating the power of the mind-body connection. Let's get into something that doesn't show up on X-rays or balance charts, but it absolutely destroys stability if left unchecked. Your mindset. We're not just talking muscles, nerves, or feet anymore. We're talking about what's happening in your head. Because if you don't fix what you believe about your body, all the strength training in the world won't save you. Let me ask you, have you ever told yourself, "I have to be careful. I don't move like I used to. I might fall"? If so, you're training your brain to expect instability. That's not harmless. That's programming. And the nervous system listens. There's a psychological loop that happens after a fall or even just a near fall. The brain records it as danger. And every time you walk after that, your subconscious starts scanning for threats. Your breathing tightens, your shoulders hunch, your steps shorten, you brace, you hesitate. Guess what that hesitation does? It throws off your timing, posture, and reaction time. You become the thing you feared, unstable. I saw this with a man named Leo, 76. He fell once, just once, getting out of a cab. No major injury, just bruises. But after that, something changed. He walked slower, stiffer, always scanning the floor. He started avoiding social events, restaurants, even grocery stores. He came to me not because of weakness, but because of fear. That fear had rewired his movement patterns, and it was making his balance worse, not better. So we did something different. We didn't start with strength. We started with breath and awareness. Deep diaphragmatic breathing to calm his nervous system. Simple posture resets to get his head stacked over his spine again. Movement patterns combined with affirmations. I am steady. I am grounded. Visualization drills where he imagined himself walking confidently. And the results, dramatic. Within a few weeks, he started moving with natural rhythm again. The fear loosened its grip. Not because we cured his body, but because we reprogrammed his response to fear. Balance is not just physical. It's deeply mental. You need your brain to believe you are stable, capable, and safe. That's the software. The muscles are the hardware. And if your inner voice is stuck in "what if I fall," that voice is robbing you of the coordination you need to stay upright. You need to replace that voice. Replace fear with presence. Replace tension with breath. Replace avoidance with training. Because when your mind and body work together, balance becomes natural again. 6. Bonus insight. The danger of sitting too much. Now let's talk about something that's not officially one of the 5 mistakes, but it amplifies all 5 like gasoline on a fire: sitting too much. We live in a seated world, and by the time most people hit their 60s or 70s, they've spent decades in chairs, cars, couches, and dining tables. Sitting isn't evil, but prolonged sitting is poison for your balance system. Here's what hours of sitting a day does to your body. Weakens your glutes, the powerhouse of balance and walking. Shortens your hip flexors, pulling your posture forward. Stiffens your ankles and knees, reducing your step reaction. Dulls your proprioception because you're not loading your feet. And worst of all, it trains your nervous system to be passive. When you sit for hours, your body turns off its stabilizers. Your balance system gets lazy. Your reflexes go to sleep. I'll be blunt. You cannot build balance if your daily routine involves hours of inactive sitting followed by a 20-minute walk. One woman I worked with, Gloria, had a great exercise habit: 30 minutes on the treadmill every day, but she sat the other 10 hours, and she couldn't figure out why her hips ached and her balance was declining. Here's what I told her: you don't need more exercise, you need more movement throughout the day. We changed 2 things. Every 45 minutes she had to stand up and move for 2 minutes. 3 times a day she did movement snacks: shoulder rolls, ankle circles, standing reaches, and squats. That's it. 2 weeks later her posture was taller. Her ankles felt looser. Her balance drills got easier, without adding more time to her workout. Here's the truth. Your body needs movement, nutrition, not just exercise. Think of movement like hydration. You wouldn't drink 2 liters of water in one sitting and say, "I'm good for the day." Balance is the same. It thrives on frequency. So yes, sitting is comfortable. But if you're sitting more than moving, you're programming your body for stiffness, weakness, and instability. Stand more. Shift often. Sit on the floor. Get up without using your hands. Break the sitting spell, or it will quietly steal your balance while you think you're taking it easy. 7. The 5-minute daily reset. A practical summary. Let's bring everything we've talked about into one practical, no-excuse system you can start today. The 5-minute daily reset. Because let's be honest, knowing the 5 mistakes isn't enough. You've got to do something with that knowledge. And I get it. You don't want to spend hours every day on rehab exercises. You have a life, but you can spare 5 minutes, especially when those 5 minutes protect your independence. Here's what this reset targets: strength to fight muscle, lost sensory feedback, especially from your feet, vestibular response to stay steady in motion, posture and breath for mind-body alignment, confidence because belief is half the battle. Let's break it down. Minute 1. Wake up the feet, stand barefoot on the floor. Roll a small ball under one foot, then the other for 30 seconds each. Then do 10 toe raises and 10 heel raises. This activates sensory feedback and foot mobility. Minute 2. Strengthen the base, do 10 slow squats using a chair. Go as low as you can safely. Follow it with 10 standing marches, lift each knee to hip level. This targets legs, hips, and core, your anti-fall muscles. Minute 3. Activate the vestibular system, stand tall. Slowly turn your head left and right while keeping your eyes fixed on a spot. Then up and down, 30 seconds each. This retrains your balance reflexes and inner ear coordination. Minute 4. Improve posture and stability, stand against a wall. Tuck your chin slightly. Flatten your shoulder blades. Hold for 30 seconds. Then take 10 slow steps heel to toe like walking a tightrope. This aligns your spine and trains balance under movement. Minute 5. Reset the mind-body link. Close your eyes, take 5 deep belly breaths. Stand on one foot for 15 seconds each leg, eyes open or closed if safe. Say out loud, "I am grounded. I am stable. I am in control." This calms the nervous system and rewires fear patterns. That's it. 5 minutes. No excuses. Every day. If you do this consistently, you're not just avoiding falls, you're retraining your entire system to move with control, strength, and confidence again. And it costs you nothing but intention. Conclusion. Let's take a moment to pull it all together. You've just learned the 5 critical mistakes that cause 99% of balance issues in older adults: ignoring muscle loss, relying too much on vision, neglecting foot health and sensory input, skipping vestibular training, underestimating the power of the mind-body connection, and we added a 6th one, sitting too much, which quietly accelerates every other mistake. Here's what I want you to remember. Falling is not a random event. It's a signal, a symptom of systems that are losing coordination with each other. But that also means falling is preventable. If you're willing to take small steps daily, you can rebuild your stability at any age. This isn't just about avoiding injury. This is about living with dignity, being able to stand tall, to move without hesitation, to stay active, present, and confident in your own body. Most people wait until after the fall to take this seriously. Don't be most people. Start today, with 5 minutes. Start waking up your muscles, your feet, your inner ear, and your inner voice. Start telling your body, I trust you again. Because the truth is, your balance is not gone. It's just waiting to be reactivated. And the moment you commit to that, your life changes. So if this video helped you, share it with someone you care about. Let's make sure no one loses their freedom just because they didn't know better. You do now. Stay grounded, stay steady, stay strong. We'll see you in the next one.